I have reconnected. We are going to live, but with a different link. People have to understand. Now we are going live with a different link. I'm copying this link.
You can unmute Mr. Siva.
I did.
இப்போ கேட்குறதா சார்?
Yes. அதாவது it is going on visible to me. I don't know why he says that it is not operative.
But he has that problem because Twitter and YouTube censor him.
I am viewing it through GoToMeeting.
No.
That I am able to see everything.
Yeah,
And
GoToMeeting you can. GoToMeeting everything can be seen, but YouTube and Facebook, unfortunately, they have restricted the live. So again I have rejoined. We have reconnected to the entire world. This is a mischief when we are trying to discuss something which is rule of law, constitution, invoking evidential act, and we debunk all those minds who are behind this mischief. We have again back. Of course, yes, I'm very sorry to all the viewers. I will try to share the link as soon as possible to you through WhatsApp. Meanwhile, the show will go on. Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Now I have already connected it again.
Okay. So now at this point in time, Kerala government decides to drop these charges against all the police officers. R.B. Sri Kumar files a defamation case against Nambi Narayan, which he withdraws unilaterally. And finally, in 2018, the Supreme Court is moved again, and they appoint a SIT, a Special Investigation Task Force, to go into the entire matter and give their report. And that report, based on that report in 2021, Supreme Court orders CBI to investigate all the officers concerned. So this is the position as on date. Now, all the concerned officers have taken anticipatory bail and they are filing their versions to the Supreme Court, CBI.
They have every right.
These are the main characters.
They have every right. They have every right. Police officials, they can file.
Right. So these are the main characters: Mariam Rashida, Raman Srivastava, Fauzia Azan, Shashi Kumar, Chandrasekhar, Alexei Vasan. Now, Alexei Vasan was the head of Glav Cosmos. And because of this ISRO spy scandal and all these details here, this man was investigated by the FSB, Russian Secret Police, for no fault of his. Then S.K. Sharma, he was a labor contractor in ISRO. Today, he is a terminally ill patient. He has lost all his money, he has lost all his business, and he is on his deathbed. Chandrasekhar, the representative, the Glav Cosmos representative, this man, unfortunately, he died on the date that the Supreme Court exonerated him. He was not able to listen to that verdict. Just before that verdict came, he died 1 or 2 hours before that verdict came. And his wife, who was working in another public sector undertaking, she is in penury now. Because all their savings, all their money has gone to fight this case. Nambi Narayan, of course, we know. So these are the people who are the main players on the accused side. And on the prosecution side, you have Vijayan, the inspector, who was promoted as SP, C.B. Matthews, who was promoted as DGP, Thambi Durgadat, who was also promoted, Joshua, Sri Kumar, who was promoted as DGP after fighting for it. Then there was a Jai Prakash, and there are another bunch of 10 officers involved in this. We need not go into all those details. But the point is, because of this shoddy investigation, The net result of this shoddy investigation was 2 scientists lost their reputation, lost their jobs, which they have built up assiduously over 35 years. And they were forced to run from pillar to post for justice. 2 ladies who came from Maldives on a tourist visa, they were given a tour of Indian jails for 3 years. They also lost a lot of money. Now, what is the image of our country in those places now? ISRO project was delayed. GSLV rocket was delayed. The first GSLV, that is the first cryogenic engine, was tested only in 2010. It was delayed by almost a decade. And the first successful launch happened only in 2013. Now, if somebody tells that these families have lost a lot, we can only say collateral damage. Sorry, sir, collateral damage. So, according to Sun Tzu, my favorite author, The Art of War, all warfare is based on deception. And the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Lord Bryan has also given a good quote on this. If a man proves too clearly and convincingly to himself that the tiger is an optical illusion, well, he'll find out that he is wrong when the tiger itself starts intervening in that discussion, which is what has happened. Now, my feeling is all this that happened had a bigger picture behind it. One small incident of one person getting arrested for revenge was blown up to involve other people also, and finally it involved the country, it involved the project, it involved the country, it put the security of the country in danger. That is my conclusion on this.
Can you come again about your conclusion?
See, one small case of vendetta, one small case of petty harassment, where a person refused to pay for a service which was supposed to be given free of cost. It started there, and it was blown up into a huge scandal which endangered the country's security as well as the project in which all this was happening. And involved in this, reading of all the details in the media and other court judgments, affidavits filed by various people, what I can feel is that small incident of vendetta was used to settle departmental power games inside the Kerala Police Department. Because there was a problem between C.B. Matthews and Raman Srivastav, and probably C.B. Matthews and Vijayan used this to get back at Raman Srivastav. And this is where the political point also comes in, where one faction of the government uses this to displace the other faction.
Karunakaran faction by Anthony faction. Let us be clear. What is there? Karunakaran faction by Anthony faction.
Yeah.
And there again at the union level, P.V. Narasimha Rao was not listening to the party high command headed by Sonia Gandhi.
And this is where the point comes in. That I'll come this thing also. The contribution of the IB. Probably IB received information from CIA wrong information, misleading information. Let me give credit to the IB. Because information is shared between intelligence agencies. Probably CIA had a hand in this by giving some false information to intelligence agencies, IB. And IB used this information without verifying it. Probably it was used by Sri Kumaran to fix Nambi Narayan because they had a grudge against each other. When Nambi Narayan was a CIS officer in ISRO. And let me tell you, Nambi Narayan is not a very easy person to get along with. That is how it appears to me. So this incident was used probably by the IB to settle scores with Nambi Narayan. And once it got too big to handle by the IB, they simply handed it over to the CBI. And in this, like you said, one faction of the government, state government, was against the other faction and they used this to displace the other thing. The same thing happened in the center also. Probably the High Command was using this to get at the Prime Minister, to cut the Prime Minister to size. Because why I have this feeling is, the cryogenic engine was supposed to be assembled by MTAR, a company in Hyderabad, in which Narasimha Rao's son was associated with that. So there was an attempt, there was a visible attempt to involve him also in that. But luckily, the then director of IB refused to take it up without verification, and at one point he said that it should not go any further than this. And at that point in time, IB handed it over to the CBI. There are good people in the country also, that we must give credit to them.
Of course.
So this is the background of it. Now, CIA, General Dynamics wanted to sabotage this because why was America interested in sabotaging the cryogenic engine? Because they were afraid that they will lose economically. Today, India was able to send a rocket to Mars at probably a fraction of the cost that the Americans sent to Mars. Economically, we were much cost effective than the Americans. And if we had the cryogenic engine, then we would cut into their business as far as satellite launching goes. And this they wanted to prevent at any cost. It was an economic warfare conducted by one company in collusion with the American CIA and the American government. The present President of United States, Joe Biden, when he was a senator in the American Senate, he has made a statement on this, that we must stop India from getting the cryogenic engines. He has made a speech on that.
My God.
So
This is
then it doesn't take much time to connect the dots. And in this process, the Americans were able to create a doubt in the minds of Russians about the ability of India to protect the secrets of the Russians. A distrust was created between Russian agencies and Indian agencies.
My goodness.
This was to my mind, this was the actual target. And in the process, the project was targeted, Because the project was targeted, the two main scientists who were involved in the project were targeted. The rest were all collateral damage. I'm sorry. I can't make omelets without breaking eggs.
Yes, you need to.
So some people have to pay the price for it. These people paid the price for it.
Unfortunately.
So what did this entire thing expose? What did this entire drama expose? First, it showed that there was a lack of professionalism in police investigation. Second, it showed a lack of professionalism in intelligence gathering. That is unfortunate because IB had a reputation which is not known to many people. Our intelligence agencies has got a good reputation for very good work because nobody talks about what has not occurred. Everybody talks about intelligence failure when something has occurred, but nobody talks when something is not occurring because of intelligence gathering. So intelligence IB has got a reputation. Unfortunately, that reputation was tarnished here. Then, now, if what I had said is true, or if what I said is even partially true, it exposes the professional officers for the vulnerability that they can abuse the powers that have been given to them. Now, here I have to put a point here, Dr. Reddy. You remember when we were talking about that CRPC amendment when a head constable was given powers to take the DNA samples and biometric samples are
Constables.
passed by Parliament.
Constables, even constables.
At that point in time, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, said that it will not be misused. Now, this is one case where a misuse has happened. What was the Home Ministry doing? They couldn't stop it. Now, tomorrow, if this new act is going to be misused, who is going to be held responsible for it? Who is willing to take responsibility for it? So, our security officers are vulnerable for abuse of powers. But more important, information security was lax in ISRO. Otherwise, they should have said it immediately. They didn't say it. And one thing is, employees become vulnerable, scientists become vulnerable. And this was the biggest damage that was caused because of this. When Nambi Narayan and Sashi Kumar were arrested, ISRO knew that they were innocent. But none of the top officials in ISRO came out in support for them.
Now who are trying to debunk those are the officers who are trying to come and debunk Nambi Narayan now.
The excuse given was the matter is under investigation, therefore it is not our policy to talk about it. Okay, sir. If investigation is an excuse for you to not to talk about it, then once Nambi Narayan was exonerated, why wasn't he given his original position back? Why was he shunted to a desk job in Trivandrum or an inconsequential job? Both of them. Why were they not reinstated in their positions? Number one.
1 minute, sir. You have mentioned in one of the slides that he took VRS.
Yes.
Then why he should be reinstated? Why he was reinstated?
Correct. A very valid point. A very valid point. He had given VRS and ISRO also accepted it. Once ISRO had accepted it, once he was exonerated, ISRO went back on that and said that he has to come back and join. So VRS was not accepted. If VRS was not accepted, Then why didn't they reinstate him? Why was he shunted out? That is the word. Why was he shunted out? Okay, that is internal politics. But my point is, when these top officials in ISRO did not stand up to Nambi Narayan and Satish Kumar, it destroyed the morale of the scientists working in ISRO. Who is going to work in an organization when the top officials don't support them? When push comes to shove. And yesterday, when all these gentlemen came on this thing to say that Nambi Narayan is taking all the credit, now my question is, only when your credit is affected, you come to public and you are trying to talk about the... Why? Even today, the matter is under investigation. So what prevented you from talking about it then? Why should you talk about it now?
They should be investigated.
It reflects very...
They should be investigated now.
Very poorly upon them.
No, they should be investigated. What do you say, Mr. Shiva? They should all be investigated who have come on to the press and they have started to debunk Nambi Narayan. They should always be investigated. Why they kept calm? Mum, why did they keep mum?
They should have opened their mouth. They should have opened their mouth.
Yeah.
To defend these people when they were arrested. Not only Nambi Narayan, the other man.
Anyone, all of them, all of them. I'm just not saying Nambi Narayan. All those innocents.
Not only
yeah,
but also affair with a lady and all.
yes.
So honey trap and all. So that they should have defended.
Yeah.
And as he said, when the materials are all available open, there is no case of espionage. They should have come out with that.
Yes.
Investigation is right. If they find out something incriminating against these people, they will take action.
Right.
In that, they need not interfere. But the revealing espionage case and the honor of these people, that they should have defended.
Yes.
They failed.
Now, that's what I'm questioning the integrity. I'm questioning the integrity of these scientists who are coming out now trying to debunk Nambi Narayana. Now I'm asking them, what happened to your integrity then? Now, don't you think people should have suspiciousness about your integrity then and now? Because you are still associated with ISRO, because this case is still under investigation. Is it for that reason, again they are being touted against this again? Are they going to shelve the entire ISRO? That's what my worry is all about.
Dr. Reddy, the point is, you see, why it reflects...
all retired.
Yeah,
all of
no. My point is very simple. It is limited to only one point. Where your credit is affected, you are willing to come out openly and talk about it.
Yeah.
But where somebody else's reputation is concerned, where your colleague's representative, it is not a one-day colleague or a two-day colleague. They have been associated with these people for 25 years, 30 years.
Their own organization, ISRO's reputation.
Yes, that they didn't do it. Then what is the value of the statement that they have made yesterday? I don't give it any value at all.
Then not only value, because you are an investigator.
Point is,
not just value. You are an investigator. You need to read in between the lines. Why they have come now? Okay, I leave it to you. Right, go ahead, sir.
Now, the major point is, this incident happened in 1994. Today, 2022, 28 years have passed by. And the judiciary is still conducting cases.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be done on a fast track mode, and once Nambi Narayan was exonerated or left off, then the subsequent actions should have followed immediately. You can't wait 30 years for the case to be concluded. We don't know how much more time it will take. It is only now the CBI is taking the statements from these accused. So what does it talk about our judiciary? When the CJI comes up, see, every Chief Justice talks a lot during addresses saying that this is delayed, that is delayed, justice delayed, justice denied. But in action, nothing happens. Why? So this has been exposed now. The entire world has been watching this. Foreigners are involved. Now those two ladies have put a case. Now, at the end of the day, who is going to pay for all this? And what have we lost? What have we lost? As a country, what have we lost? Two tourists, they have lost their peace of mind, they have lost their money. One girl who was studying in Bangalore, she has lost her studies, collateral damage. ISRO's cryogenic project was delayed by a decade. ISRO scientist morale was destroyed. Kerala police and the IB was left with a lot of egg on their faces. Russian entities, they have started distrusting Indian entities. One state CM lost his chair. And for the last 28 years, it is you and I who have been paying for all this tamasha by way of taxes. This is our loss. So as a citizen, don't you think that we should question it? And have we learned the lessons, or are we repeating it over and over again? That I leave it for the viewers to decide.
Yeah, I have got some sublime questions for you, and I think I'll just will come out of this, and then hopefully even Mr. Shiva, I think he should switch on his video so that we can all have a discussion straight away. Yeah, now do you think this case will go ahead? Straight question to you, because now the same Biden who was opposing that cryogenic, somehow it should be stopped, then he was a senator, now he becomes the president of America.
Correct. Correct.
So can we expect even Supreme Court to move ahead, or CBI to move ahead now?
It has to move ahead. It has to move ahead, because it is not a question of American credibility. Now it is a question of Indian credibility. It is a question of credibility of Indian agencies. And it is for that reason the Supreme Court has to step in.
But the Supreme Court, with due diligence, we have seen COVID-19 now. We have seen this 1912 repealing, amendment of that act, and you have seen new money laundering policy, new 3-bench, when they have a constitutional bench about to hear, this 3-bench Supreme Court comes and does something different. Accused has to prove his innocence. When such things, and then when such a big country, now the same Biden becoming president of America, don't you think the pulls and pressures are very much evident? Now today I came to know India has for the first time voted against Russia in Ukraine case in the United States.
Yeah. But international politics being what it is, I am happy that at least in some places, some point of time, some these things, India is able to stand against other countries' pressures to a certain extent. Yes, we can do it. But because we are not economically very strong, there has to be some give and take somewhere, someplace. That is international diplomacy. We are not competent to comment on that. But one thing I can be sure is there are no free lunches. There are no free lunches.
That's okay. That point is taken. But
no, if America, every nation has to go out to safeguard its own interest. America does it well. We need to do it well. That is all.
No, because why I'm telling you at this point of time, this show has opened up the Indian Parliament's strength now, because it's people who have voted them. till this time India was neutral, which we everyone appreciated when it came to Russia and Ukraine. Now all of a sudden it jumps on the bandwagon of America now, when it should have been neutral, for the simple that BRICS and everything was happening, and we discussed alternate currency mode with gold as a standard medium, and subsequently when the dollar is on the decline, where was the need for India to jump? That's what I'm asking you. Is it the...
No. See, no. India has voted against Russia. It is not. It is on a procedural matter as far as Ukraine is concerned. It is not per se that they are going against Russia or going for America. See, this is a mistake that we all make. If I talk against somebody, it does not mean that I'm against him. It only means that, yes, I can see, for example, our external affairs minister has also come out and very clearly on that other thing. We are interested only in our security, national interest. We will work only on that basis. If it suits me, tomorrow morning I can say America Zindabad. Tomorrow evening I can say Russia Zindabad. It depends upon my national security requirements. That's all.
No, that we appreciate. That we have been appreciating when they stayed neutral. No, but here in this particular case,
what has happened is only a procedural.
Ravichandran-ji, because you have come out with such beautiful presentation, unraveling the truth, mystery. After Rocketry Cinema, people were saying who is the villain. Now we are not here to judge anyone. We are discussing the issue as it became evident as the opening started to come out. In one such opening, when Biden was vehemently opposing India becoming a cryogenic power, then when he was a senator. Now he is the president, commanding resources at his disposal, Indian diaspora and the Gujarat lobby, which is again more interested for their business, who are supporting. Again here I quote, why? Because all the political funding, electoral bonds have become opaque. No citizen knows which corporate company is funding which party and how much. In this scenario, America being a developed state, having all those strategic business interests, do you think once they're opening, Americans' involvement or everything, we are not here to judge, but when things are becoming evident, do you think they will allow either CBI or Supreme Court to march ahead in this espionage, ISRO spy case?
No, my point is, it is immaterial whether Biden is in power, because when this incident took place, first it was H.W. Bush, a Republican Party member. Then it was Clinton. Then subsequently several presidents have come. Now Biden has come into power. That's all. Now, irrespective of who is the president in America, the president of America works for American industry. Now, America will try to influence events in India. Right now, they are doing it. A lot of money is flowing in India to influence public opinion, to influence policymakers, to influence the media. But my limited point is, as patriotic Indians, we must be alert to such influences and we should prevent them from happening. And that can be done only when people start questioning. As long as when people keep quiet, then we will be having bigger problems. People kept quiet in 94, it has extended up to 2022. At least now we should start talking. That is my limited point.
You mean to say Tiranga, that Gar ka Tiranga?
Who governs Russia? I don't care who governs America. I am interested only in India and my security. Tomorrow, if China is prepared to help me, I will receive them with both arms, but I will make sure that they have not put any malware into my system. That's all. I have to ensure that.
That's a point. And then you mean to say Gar Tiranga should have Indians understanding that the procedure, the Supreme Court delays trials and CBI delaying trials should be on a fast track court, but with due respects
Yes.
to all, with all evidences. Again, no innocent should be punished. No innocent. The second aspect is the same CPM government which was then came back to power and reopened the case. Now again it is there in the saddle in Kerala.
Yeah, and CPM government has handed over 1.3 crores to Nambi Narayan, which the earlier Congress government did not do.
The
They kept quiet.
Congress was never
It
there.
is-
For the second time in a row, CPM came back to power.
Earlier, it was there in power. Earlier also, when at the center, at the state level, the money had to be given, it was given. That's all. And now probably the Kerala government decided that they want to close this issue, so they settled it only in 2021, because they know that if they prolong it, then the issue is going to become much bigger. Like I said, at some point the Kerala government itself decided this is not worth going. They see, one of the reasons why it wanted to drop cases against the police people was it didn't want to expose the weaknesses that were evident. They wanted to start with a clean slate, but that did not happen, unfortunately. And in one case it is good, because now only when people start realizing how an abuse of power by a officer, how it affects the people, only then it is till Rocketry film came out from 1994, nobody was talking about Nambi Narayan.
We are talking about Nambi Narayan. We are talking about Nambi Narayan because of not his any personal interest, but he was a scientist, and the organization involved was Indian Space Research Organization, with so many scientists.
Correct.
And the question of country's prestige, because of this mental acumen.
Prestige and security.
And security. That's what, when I say countries, it involves the security aspects, because now everything is connected with, you have seen, everything is online, everything is spatial now. Now in these circumstances, do you think Kerala government will cooperate with the CBI probe in regards to its own police officials' roles?
Doubtful, because police has got a powerful union in Kerala. They will ensure that the police is not like ISRO. They won't abandon their people.
Okay. I hope Mr. Srikumar, everyone is listening. Police organization is not like ISRO, who these scientists now they come out, try to say that the credit has not been given to them. But what they were doing, what they were sleeping, they should be investigated. They should be part of, because maybe why they kept quiet when you are allowing a crime to happen, when your eyes and ears, your own physical entity is part and parcel of everything. How is that they will go scot-free under the investigation? We'll leave it to that. And then the other aspect, the police, Kerala may try to protect, but police officers, then what will CBI do then? Then how do you feel? How do you think justice can be done?
There is nothing to do. See, like I said, the only way that this issue can be resolved is let the Supreme Court now most of these people have been promoted to the apex of their careers, and most of them are probably in 70s. Now, according to the Supreme Court, anybody above 70 years cannot be jailed. There have been several cases like that, and these people are sinners with a future, so they will be probably pardoned. So what is the point in continuing with the case?
Not that. See, my interest is no other police officer, young or because they watch movies, should indulge in such type of crime again.
Yes.
What should we do then?
You have to. No, for that purpose, there is no point in punishing these people. Okay, you make rules, you ensure that such abuses do not take place in future. But to do that, the court has to correct itself first. Because, let me tell you, even when the police arrested Mariam Rashida and Fauzia Hussain, It was the court which remanded them to custody.
That's what courts are just making fun of themselves.
The police officer does not have the power to remand anybody to custody. It was the court which did it. How did the court do it without any evidence? Now, why isn't, when 18 police officers are being accused, why has the magistrate been left free?
No, you should be part of it. Not just 18 officers. Magistrate should be part of it. He should be.
He has shown his incompetence
Yes.
or ignorance of law.
Incompetence, and even
If
that
not
magistrate who has remanded Fauzia and Mariam, you should be part of this investigation for a fair and transparent investigation, because we now Nambi Nayar comes out along with all the others as heroes and heroines. Now there should be villains as he really wanted, because who have done, at least the country should know. Maybe they have gone through age of 70 and all, but the country should know who they are. This is one aspect when it comes to police. Then what about the political game? A political game, one faction, Anthony faction, comes to power, dislodging Karunakaran's faction, and Congress High Command in Delhi, what they have to say? Because they have played with the country's, what should I say?
Dr. Reddy, that is our culture. That is our culture. In the 10th century, 11th century, when Muhammad Ghori came into India, it was Raja Jai Singh who helped him to come into India against Prithviraj Chauhan. In the Battle of Plasse, it was Mir Jafar who was helping the Britishers to capture the Nawab of Oudh. That runs in our blood. The politicians are part of it. There should be a cultural awakening of that. At least it will not happen in our lifetime.
Because we do not know, this government also sent at the center, they should expedite if they want to come out clean and create a good culture, or else by the power of superpower, if they want to go for some bargain, prolong this case, agonizing all those accused now, because till that time it was Nambi and that scientist and all the others who were suffering. Now because now the accused list is out, and the party, Kerala party, and the factions, their names are out. If the probe gets delayed, unfortunately, even again these families will have to face the ire of the people. Unfortunate things, because justice, if that is not done expeditiously, but again in a proper way, no question of trying to simply accuse someone till proved no one is guilty. This is what we feel. Even those accused officers, even those factions in the Congress, or for that matter anyone else involved with this Nambi Narayan's case, we still say, until and unless proved guilty, you are still just accused. So we have nothing against you or your families or anything. Here a crime has happened which should not have happened. A crime has happened with the scientific community. A crime has happened with scientific community who were about to profess our future into space, having collateral advantages, not just for India, but in doing so for the entire world. So this aspect has to be borne in vote. For petty quarrels, for petty politicalisms, you have allowed, why I should not, foreign agencies or others to take advantage and show ISRO, their scientists, and Indian investigating agencies like IB, and also the Indian judiciary at fault in front of the world. At least this should be corrected now. This should be corrected. We want this should be corrected. Because Nambi Narayan, when he says, after Supreme Court grants him compensation, Kerala government coming forward, the same CPM government which has reopened his case, they come forward, pay him compensation. When he is exonerated, then who is the villain? And those villains, those accused, should also have a fair trial. No one has a right to just name them or just accuse them. No, it should be again rule of law. With all those evidences, that should be proved. But this onus rests on Supreme Court, the CBI, as well as the ruling polity at the center and at Kerala. At the same time, ISRO at least should start thinking about their integrity now. People hold ISRO in a high esteem after so many successful, launches helping the Indian society. We are proud of you, ISRO, but not this way. You should become strong. You should learn to protect your own staff, your own people, not out of some wrongdoings. No. If you try to protect any wrongdoing, this ISRO spice scandal case, Nambi Narayan case will be an example. If not today, decades after, the truth has to come out. The truth has to come out. Truth has to prevail for dharma, for an order in the society. Otherwise, the existence will be no more. So before winding up, thank you, gentlemen. This is what we wanted to say, in spite of YouTube trying to cut down our show because they were worried that Joe Biden's name would be taken. We are not here to judge Mr. Joe Biden, then Senator, now President. He was right in his own way. He is trying to protect his country's interests. But what happened to our politicians, our investigating officials, our administrators, our judiciary, and our own ISRO scientists themselves? And more than that, the rightful thinking Indian intelligentsia. What happened to you? What happened to us? Why, before we blame others? What happened to us? This Nambi Narayan spy scandal should be an eye-opener for all concerned citizens, because we are the constitutional authority, right from to Prime Minister to Chief Minister. All other administrators, they are public servants. But why we could not show that interest when somebody is being framed without evidences, so many years in jails, and innocent Maldive women, when they came here on tourist visa, we are not going to certify them, you are innocent, but you are accused. But someone comes here, if they are framed, now they are exonerated. What will be the prestige of the country? Such a great Commonwealth country. We had Panchashil Siddhantas, principles. What happened to that? I will leave it to the Gandhi's family. At least now they should come out clean. They should start cleaning their own party now of such people who want only power to grab, come whatever may, by having these type of feuds internally that has disturbed the entire nation's security in the form of ISRO, which has belittled our own scientific minds, doing such great service, launch after launch, successful launches, and they are all coming to the rescue of common man in various ways, right from farmers to education, every aspect they are proving it right, including weather and everything. When such is the case, the integrity of ISRO should be protected from where? By their own people, the scientist community there. And I hope I've been very clear. Let us all celebrate this Tiranga 75 years of independence with wisdom. We should all be wisdom personified. Once when you start discussing issues like this, then that fear of wrongdoings will never happen. Those who try to frame you or try to do such things, they have to run for cover. And the punishment or whatever it is, in this case, we will leave it to Supreme Court and CBI. Hopefully, they will expedite these cases much faster so that people will not lose faith in judiciary and the premium investigation agency called Central Bureau of Investigation. At the same time, even the political parties in Kerala, they have to play a stellar role. They should become statesmen. Whatever happened, but ultimately they should allow truth to prevail rather than trying to again shield someone for next series. Let us not allow to do such type of things. Thank you, sir. Shivaji, anything? Hope you have enjoyed watching this show. Take care, sir. Bye and good night. And if possible, we will try to repeat this show tomorrow on Citizens DR TSPR channel. For the discontinuity, I see some messages. I may try to upload this tomorrow again, because let India know what has happened and how beautifully Ravichandran Swaminathan once again pooling all the evidences as per rule of law, constitution he has presented today. It is for every citizen of the world to understand. When you say global village, let us not have an espionage drama going against one another. That is not global drama. If I am good in one thing, if he is good in one thing, if you are good in something, let us have that bonhomie of bilateralism so that you grow, we grow, entire world grow. When such is the case, you'll mutual respect, mutual trust is the main essence of this beautiful living. Otherwise, countries, states, and within states, political parties, and again within ISRO, their own groups will start fighting with each other. That will lead to absolute chaos, and that should not happen. Wonderful people, wonderful citizens, wonderful state and country. I still feel Mera Bharat Mahan. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Bye. Bye.